In this session, we're going to see how we can use Django filters. So the idea is that if we have a list, we want to filter that and see, for instance, the category age only, or we want to filter based off the prices to see a range of the price. We can order by a price. We can search through certain fields like a title or a description. Let's see how we can do that. So first thing is just to go to Django. Let's stop this. And then we need to do pip install Django filter, right? So that would be the package that we're going to need. I have already this installed. Once installed, there will be two steps that we need to do. One is here. So that would be Django filters. So in our settings and in installed apps, we need to register this app, right? So this would be one. The next one would be basically here in the REST framework. Here is some settings that we can define. That would be basically the setting throughout the backend as a default, right? So for this particular searching and filtering, what we need basically is such a string. So here we are going to define our default filter backends, which is Django filter backend. For filtering, this is for ordering, and this is for searching. So 3 steps. One was to install, the other one was to register it under install app, and third one is just to tell REST framework to use this as the default. Okay, so once done, now things are really easy. So what we need to do is just to go to the view here in our post list. Remember, the list is something that we wanted to filter, not the detail itself, not just one item, but a list of the items, right? So what we can do is basically say that filter and fields is going to be equal to category, right? So that is going to be a tuple. So that's my filter field. My search field is going to be again another tuple. So here I'm going to search through title, and I'm going to search through description. And these are, remember, these are the fields in our model. So make sure that the naming and the spelling is exactly similar to what we have in our models over here, right? So for instance, this is description, and here is description as well. Okay, and now the last one would be ordering fields. Ordering fields, which would be, for instance, price, and the other one would be, for example, view now. All right, so that's simple. So once we have all settings, then that would be this simple to go ahead and basically create our filters. So now if I run my server again, okay, now if I go here, back here, I hit enter, we see that we have this filter appeared there, right? So if I go there, I have the ordering, I have the search, and I have the category. So the category, let's say I just want a music category, submit, and that would be only music. And here, note that how this is being translated into an API, right? So this API, if it is going to go to the server, this list would be response of that, right? And then in the filtering, again, health as well, and price, for instance. So I have 2 filter now on. So let's get rid of this here, and then just price, and because it is negative, it's going to be descending, right? So, and ascending as well. So it would be ascending here, and finally it would be search. So first, search is, I define it to be just for title, so it would be on title and description, right? So if I go back here, so my title and description, let's say for instance this description has updated, right? So if I can go ahead and search for updated or update. Okay, doesn't bring that update. Okay, updated, of course. I think typo here. Updated. There we go. So now it brings up updated. Okay, so these are the simple filterings. Now let's say we want to do a bit more complicated filtering, which is very common. Let's say you are creating a backend for car listing or for house listing, and you're interested on the range of the price rather than just one price, or a range of dates rather just all dates, right? So currently we don't have these options. So in our filtering, we just have categorical filter, right? We can't say give me the data on a certain range. So let's see how we can pull that off. So here, first thing is just to comment this out. And now what we are going to do, we are going to do, rather than getting a filter field, so we can go ahead and say filter class. Okay, and then filter class would be something that we're going to define, and I'll call it post filter, right? So this is something that we are going to define now. So we're going to here say class post filter. Okay, and let's say pass for now, and we're going to import a couple of things. Import Django filters, and then import so here from Django filters, import REST framework as filters. Okay, the other one would be from Django filters again, import number filters and date time filters. Okay, so now rather than getting the field, we're defining the class, and that class would be subclass from filters, and this is the filters we define, and then here filter set. All right, so once we have that, then we can go ahead and say min price, for example, is going to be number filter, and that's going to be based off field name of price. Okay, and that would be basically lookup expression for larger, greater, or equal. Okay, so that's going to be our minimum. Our max would be something similar, and the same thing, just here would be lower than or equal. Okay, this is this is it. So here I can make another copy of those two, and here let's say I would say from timestamp, and here I would say timestamp. Okay, and again this is going to come from my timestamp here, so let's copy that, make sure things are similar, and same as we had before. Here again same, and here again just I'm changing to. Okay, so this is how we are defining these new filters, and then I want to have still this one, right? So what you can do is to say class in meta. Okay, the model would be based off the post. Model is based off the post. Okay, and then the fields would be, so I can bring that over here. Don't need full filter here, so all right, so it would be All right, so then I get rid of this pass, and then okay, cool. Okay, so that should be it. Now let's review it. So we created, rather than filter fields, we created filter class that is going to be post filter, and post filter subclass from filter set. And here, okay, so we number this is number filter, would be based off price field greater than equal, lower than or equal. So for this next one would be based off our date. Okay, so we can define that, and then category would be there as well, right? So now if I go here, back here, and remove the search filter they had, okay, and go to filter, there we go. So we have more things appear here. Now let's say we want, so we have 2400, 2000, 2600, 2800. So let's single out this one and this one, right? So what we can say here, price here is greater than or equal, let's say 2100, and would be price is less than or equal 2700, right? And submit. Okay, there you go. And we have them here as well, 2100, 2700, and similar thing can be done for date as well. So we can input the date that we want to be equal or greater as well, right? And that would be conclude this session. So to summarize, what we did is basically was 3 steps to set up the filters, and 1 step was installing the package, which is Django. So was here. Okay, was filter Django filters, and once we have that pip installed Django filters, then what we did was in the settings, we added that here as our installed apps, and then we added the defaults in our framework settings. And once done, then we were able to easily go to the views and add the search filter, ordering filter, and filter fields. And if we wanted to do kind of more complicated stuff, we could go for filter class and define a class which is going to subclass from filter sets, and that would be really easy to go ahead and define new fields for the search.